Well, for more on this topic, we're joined by Ray Wang, Principal Analyst and Founder of Constellation Research. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Rachelle, how are you?
Good, thank you. So, Ray, what's behind this shift that we're seeing from the free content model in China to now people being willing to pay for it?
Well, a couple of factors have happened. The first one is the fact that the content has to be authentic, and that's happening. The payments have actually occurred with commerce, so the ability to actually pay people micropayments, peer-to-peer payments is there. The more important piece is really that the copyright protections that people have been putting in place is allowing people to be common to actually get to that knowledge. And then the last piece is the fact that people are now more cash rich but time poor, and they want to be able to learn and accelerate their learning where they can or get advancements, and that's in a highly education-rich environment.
So in terms of the sort of content that Chinese consumers are most interested in, and how can these content creators really stand out from the crowd? What are your thoughts?
Well, people are looking for authenticity. So an expert winner in a trivial contest or in a game contest comes to mind, or a scientist that might come from Tsinghua that's teaching people something they might not have learned before, an expert musician that's showing them how to try a different technique. There's really a passion for learning within China, and that's what they're capitalizing on. And the other piece is really the cost factor. These are really micropayments. We're talking somewhere between $10 to $20 for year-long subscriptions in live streaming, and even less for podcasting. And so people are actually flipping the model because they want to get to experts, they don't want any filtering, and they're really looking for that level of authenticity.
So when it comes to the ones who are able to be more successful and stand out, is it more about finding a niche then that really connects with people?
You know, you're right. A niche is one part of it, but the other piece is there's a flair to it, there's a status behind it, there are people that are really standing out, and especially when you think about hyper-personalization in China, we're talking about the ability to actually create brand new expertise in other areas. So it's everything, every topic, but health is typically a big one, being successful at work is another big topic, and of course, right, being able to learn knowledge and get into the right schools and education and opportunities, those are also big topics as well.
Now, it's very interesting because you also have people willing to pay to watch other ordinary people just live stream their daily lives. What's the appeal there?
You know, live stream is hot. We're talking something about 500 million users by 2018, so at the end of this year, and almost $50 million in revenue by 2020. And what's hot about the live stream is people want that connection point. I mean, people are paying to watch other people watch and play games. People are watching people how to cook. People are jumping in on conversations that they might not have had before. So I think this is part of that peer-to-peer kind of economy. Now, the reason it works in China more so than in the US is because the payments model's in place, and people are used to actually the live stream applications, and we've actually seen the combination of content, commerce, context, and copyright come into play.
So with China being able to successfully monetize this, how long then do you think it will take for other countries like the US who aren't quite as proactive when it comes to getting onto the mobile market?
So the challenge in the US is we have lived in a content model that's basically free, supported by advertising or supported by other means. And I think we are starting to get into a model where we're paying for premium content, but I still think the free content model is still a lot larger. When we get to a point where we're willing to pay for something of value, you see that in some subscriptions, New York Times subscriptions, Wall Street Journal, they have succeeded by having a premium product, and you really do have to differentiate and specialize to be able to get to that paid content model.
Now, let's also talk protection here. What sort of regulations or protections really govern the space in China, whether it's protecting consumers from fake content or perhaps even illegal content?
Well, one of the things that happened in probably the last 3 to 4 years is the crackdown on illegal content. And that crackdown on piracy actually opened up a market in China and allowed the ability for folks to actually put out content and know that copyright protections were going to be enforced. And the other fact is that when you think about subscriptions, I mean, we're talking about $1, $2, maybe $15 to $20 at most, versus $160 in the US, the cost differential is pretty huge. So these are things that the average Chinese person can actually afford and actually save up for in order to actually get to some premium levels of content or to get information much more quickly than they would have before from another source.
Now, we're also seeing some tech companies really betting big on this paid content service in this industry. How sustainable is it, though?
I think it is, especially for the tech companies that actually have the ability to handle payments. So you think about the big three, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, they all have payment models behind it, and that powers and makes it easier for Quora-like sites like a Douban, a Zhihu, and a Fenda to be able to actually support the model of paying someone else. right? So a person who has 100,000 subscribers willing to pay $2 to $3 a month, there's actually a great business model there for experts to basically come out and really create key opinion leaders as well.
Well, entrepreneurs take note. Thank you so much, Ray Wang, Principal Analyst and Founder at Constellation Research.